Mayo. It's my 51st Cinco de Mayo. You know, my stepmom's Mexican, but she refuses to celebrate Cinco de Mayo because she said it doesn't mean jack shit. Doesn't mean jack shit. It's not even Mexican Independence Day. Mexican Independence Day is the 16th of September, you know? And, but so here it is. I was gonna go to a Cinco de Mayo event yesterday, but I was afraid I was gonna get deported. So
You were to get deported.
I was gonna get deported. I was gonna be eating some taco, and I was gonna get deported. So we got today. We got the producer Paul's here. How you doing, Paul?
Good. I'm glad to be here.
How was Cinco de Mayo in the 209?
In the 209, the Cinco de Mayo, we were all drinking St. Ides. No.
Oh yeah.
You got your can and your hat. They definitely should be paying you for this, Chris.
They should be paying me, but guess what? It's a big ass company. I don't think they give a fuck about.
You don't think they give a shit about the rat?
I don't think they give a fuck about the weed market at all.
The weed market.
I mean, they're in the weed market, but some people still look at it like they think I'm an alcoholic, which is not cool.
Right.
I wish they had put some weed thing on here, a couple of weed leaves on the hat. Let us know that I'm not down with the alcohol. I mean, I don't even know if I ever drank alcohol from St. Ides before.
Really?
But I am a big St. Ides weed drinker. And here I got my peach.
You got your peach.
I got my peach. Hell yeah, I got my peach and stuff. I like St. Ides, but yeah, I think I'm going to a Cinco de Mayo event later today in Oakland, but I hope I don't get deported, you know.
What's the event?
I'm going to the Urbana in Oakland. They got free tacos and weed.
Is that the... Oh, so it's Urbana, not Ohana.
No, it's Urbana.
Okay.
It's like 5 blocks from 19th Street BART.
Okay.
It's on Grand. It's right across Dave's Hot Chicken. You ever been?
I know where Dave's Hot Chicken is.
Yeah, it's right across. You should. The trouble is they don't let you smoke weed in there. Still, you can use the Volcano or the Puffcos.
Oh, so you can use a vape product.
You can use a vape product.
Kind of like our studios. You can use a vape product.
Yeah.
You can't smoke full-on flower, anything that's combustible, anything that lights up.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going there, and so they got free tacos?
They got tacos, free tacos.
Well, that's probably what I'm going to do tomorrow. We have Taco Tuesday in the 209.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So it's like dollar tacos from the truck, and I always get the barbecue pork with everything on it, including the pineapple chunks.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited. My birthday's in 2 days. I'm going to be 53.
There you go.
53. But I'm excited to report I still haven't not had any hot flashes. I mean, I can still knock you up. That's a weird thing about being a 53-year-old man compared to a 53-year-old woman. I can knock you up. I can still knock you up and stuff. Give you a bunch of cute little babies. You know, I can do that. A 53-year-old woman is going to be like sitting in some freezer trying to cool down from the hot flashes. It's not really fair, you know. It's not really fair. I understand it's not really fair. but it is what it is, you know.
Right.
It is what it is. I can't deny. I mean, Moses had kids when he was 100 years old, but
Right.
he was Moses and stuff.
He was Moses.
I'm at the age where I feel like when I see a Viagra commercial, I feel like they're talking to me. You know, I'm at that age.
Are you? You're their marketing demographic, basically.
But I don't need Viagra. I don't know. I think weed.
Well, you got to get laid to need the Viagra.
No, but I think weed gives me a hard on. I don't know why. I always thought weed gave me natural hard on.
So wait, you just turned 50?
I'm turning 53.
You're turning 53. So then you shouldn't have any problems. Like, so I guess when guys get older, just like when they're young,
Yeah.
I hear that they have better luck in the mornings. They wake up with hard-ons.
Oh yeah.
So if that's happening to you in your 50s, you just need to change your habits. You just need to change your habits with your lady or your partner
That's what I was
and
saying.
say, hey, we got to do it in the morning instead of at night because shit ain't working at night.
Oh yeah.
So different strokes for different folks.
That's
Folks.
true. I get bored. I look at porn all day, which is a bad
And look
habit.
at porn. Yeah, that's not good for you. So
So we got a new WNBA team starting up tomorrow. We got the Valkyries, with they're part of the Warriors team, but Valkyrie's a weird name, you know. Isn't that connected to the Nazis, the Valkyries and stuff?
plot to assassinate Hitler.
Yeah, that's why I kept wondering why choose that name? Why not choose something like what is it? Is there another word? They don't have a word for female warrior, I guess.
Is that what they're using it for?
Yeah, because they're part of the Warriors organization. They're gonna play in the same arena, so I guess they couldn't find a female warrior name. I mean, what? There's got to be one warrior, like the warrior princesses or something. The female warriors or something. The lady warriors.
The Lady
The
Warriors.
lady warriors. Sometimes you hear the university.
What
like,
is
the lady tigers?
Let's ask. What does the word Valkyrie mean?
What is a Valkyrie?
Valkyrie means each of Odin's 12 handmaidens who conducted the slain warriors of their choice from the battlefield to Valhalla.
So it's from basically Odin's 12 handmaidens. Wasn't Odin Greek mythology?
Yeah, it's like
Who is Odin?
it's Viking. They're Vikings.
Scandinavian mythology.
They're Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings. There you go.
In
Professional
fact-
former. Oh no.
I think our cheerleading squad in high school would call the Valkyries. Or we had some. Was it the cheer squad? We had a cheerleading squad. Then we had a flag squad. I don't know, because we were the Vikings.
Right.
So I think we would call the Valkyries. But I think this is a weird name, you know. But they're starting up tomorrow, you know. So now I can show off about my knowledge of women's basketball. But I heard it's hard to get tickets. I saw somebody upset on Facebook they couldn't get tickets.
Could not get tickets.
Could not get tickets. Go see the Warriors instead, you know. But yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited about Cinco de Mayo, but you know it's a weird time. Like I do got a friend who just got a green card, but he's afraid to be out in the public. You know?
Everybody's afraid to be out in the public. That's why we have armed guards outside our studio doors because of the shit we say on this podcast.
Hell yeah.
I'm afraid they're gonna ship me off to El Salvador, and
Well,
that's not a joke.
And now I see that Muni's cracking down. I'm afraid to ride Muni because
Oh wait, like on fairs,
yeah,
like watching you,
they're cracking down on fares.
people jumping gates and shit.
Yeah, not jumping gates. I mean, just hopping on the buses without paying and stuff.
Oh, on Muni, not on BART.
They do it on BART too, but they don't do it as much on Muni. Yeah, but I saw.
Well, BART's a little bit more regulated. You have to walk into a BART station, and
Yeah.
most of the time to walk into a BART station, you have to scan your Clipper card,
Well, they got these.
or
new-
they have security, or they have police, depending on what's.
They
in there.
have these new entrances that they're hard to sneak into, but I mean, if you really want to sneak in on BART, you'll be able to. All you gotta do is just follow somebody right behind.
Well, yeah. What is it? What do they call that? tailgate or whatever when you
Yeah.
come in behind somebody. But the problem is, so certain parts of the city, I know the one that's right here at Market and 7th,
Yeah.
sometimes they have police at that one point where you go in, but there's other times where you could tailgate and go behind somebody. But then usually wherever I get off, which is like Dublin or Pleasanton,
Yeah.
or even if I go to Fremont or whatever,
Yeah.
they're usually really up on when you exit.
Yeah.
There's people in their booths and they're watching.
And the weird thing is they built these elevators outside, so you should be able to just get on the elevator and get on BART. Where I like in Walnut Creek, there's an elevator, but now they put a
Oh, for people that are handicapped.
but now they put like a whole they caged up the elevator too.
Yeah, because they don't want you using that to get on.
But yeah, I've seen a lot of I've seen on Muni they got people checking fares.
So I think they should. So here's the thing is I believe that if they are firmer on that, then hopefully rates don't go up.
Yeah, but I never pay for Muni.
You never pay for Muni. Well,
Uh,
then you're the reason our rates go up.
Well, yeah, it's free. I mean, I'll
It's
pay.
not free.
It's free.
It gets more expensive for me every year too.
Oh yeah, that's because you pay.
Pay. Yeah.
I actually got a ticket, which I got a ticket, and the crazy thing is I had to renew my I had to renew my Muni card. Like,
So did you get out of the ticket?
I still haven't paid the ticket. Like,
How much was the ticket?
it started at 40, then I think it's like up to 150 now.
Jeez.
But they can't do anything about it, because
It's not like they're gonna when you don't pay a parking ticket, they let you not renew your license or your registration on
Yeah.
your car.
yeah.
What are they gonna do? Not let you register to go on
Well,
BART
Yeah, I mean, they're not. It's Muni. They're not even.
or Muni?
They
Right.
can't keep you off BART. I mean,
Can't
BART.
keep you off BART or Muni
No,
unless you're
no.
a wanted criminal.
Yeah, they can't keep you off BART or Muni. Yeah, I
So
actually
happy Cinco de Mayo for people that thought they were going to get a free pass today. Not a chance.
free pass for what?
BART or Muni.
Oh no,
They're going to
no,
get nailed.
They're out there watching it.
They're out there watching.
I was near the Metreon because I went to the Green Door to get some my St. Ides because they're cheaper down there and stuff. But yeah, they're out there checking people, and I think they're running out of money. But they always talk about closing up BART and Muni, but I think Muni is like the third highest paid bus operators in the country are at Muni.
Well, it just came out in the Chronicle the other day, 2 days ago, that basically San Francisco's population drops again as the city struggles to retain residents. So
Hell
every
yeah.
year, our pop in San Francisco drops because of the shit that's happening.
Well, my whole time in the Bay Area, from when I arrived in the '79, San Francisco's always been expensive to live in. I never really understood why people were complaining that they had to move out of here because I'm like, it's always been expensive. But yeah, people can't afford this. They're moving farther and farther away. Like when I was in the 209 a couple weeks ago for 420, I was looking at realty prices, and you can get like a 3-bedroom house for like 300,000 out there.
Right.
In San Francisco, you can't buy a 3-bedroom house.
No way. And then, so then people don't even want to come here. People don't even want to travel in the U.S. because of all the shit that's happening in our
Yeah.
country. And
Yeah,
you were
it's
talking
true.
about now you have to have that real ID.
You got to get the real ID. The real ID actually, it's like starts on Wednesday, but the problem with the real ID is that when I got my passport, I chose my real first name, which was Christian, right?
Right.
And my ID card says Chris. So I hope that doesn't give me trouble. My last name is so weird that I don't think it's gonna give anybody problems.
Right.
But like, if I have to make like plane reservations and use my passport, I might as well use my real first name because that's what it says on my passport, Christian, right?
Right.
But because when I became a U.S. citizen, they they asked me what name I wanted, and I decided to go back. I put my four names on my passport:
Right.
Cristiano Alejandro Schiabacase Valenzuela. In Latin America, we use our mother's maiden name too.
Right.
So my mom's last name is Valenzuela, and the first thing she did when she got a divorce was go back to Valenzuela. She hated being Schiabacase, but I think but yeah, but I have a passport. I'm not really worried about it, but I am going to DMV. Actually, I think there's a DMV in that Dublin, that mall in Dublin. What is it called? Stone Ridge or Stone Ridge? That mall in Dublin, Dublin Pleasanton.
Oh, I was just looking. So they said that you can still travel with what they call a state enhanced ID.
Oh yeah.
And the state enhanced ID, which I'm not going to show mine on here. I'll use the sample they use. Mine is not. This one says federal limits apply.
Mine too.
So if you have one, so the California ID here, I'll share this
Yeah.
I'll share this because this is a sample.
But isn't the
here,
real
hold on.
ID like a national ID?
So here's the California state one. So if yours has a golden bear in the upper right hand corner,
Oh.
then it's an enhanced ID. But if it says federal limits apply right after these two lines here, right next to your class C or wherever it is, right there in the upper right hand corner, right above the miner that's panning for gold, if there's a gold bear with a star on its booty, which kind of looks funny, then that's an enhanced ID. But if it says federal limits apply, that is not an enhanced ID. So you still have to have a smart ID or a state enhanced one.
You see, that's why I don't want to get the real ID with a golden bear, because like I don't want to be in Vegas and people look at my ID and they see the bear, they think that guy's trying to say something because he's got a bear ID.
He's got a bear ID.
I'm like,
You're not a bear.
I'm not a bear. I'm not down for that.
We're not talking about the Castro bear.
I'm like, I don't want anybody confusing me. I don't want anybody looking at my ID thinking like that's a cute bear, you know. Actually, I saw a flyer for like bears in outer space. There's like the SF Eagle. You know the Eagle. There's a club out here called the Eagle.
Right.
I think I used to do open mics there for a while before they're regulated. Now they regulate some of the open mics. They're like, unless you're gay or you're female, we don't want you at an open mic. Okay. I don't want to have to prove I'm gay or not gay to do an open mic. But
you're just trying to just rile them people up.
I'm just saying, what is it with these open mics? Remember, open mics are open mics. They're not, if you want to do a book a show, but.
You mean so you don't think an open mic should have any kind of theme?
I'm not talking about a theme, but I'm not.
You shouldn't have an open mic that is only calling for a certain group of people.
Well, yeah, because it's not open. It's not.
That's true. That is true.
And
That is true because the word open mic really tells you that we're open. It's everybody. Everybody is allowed to do something. Like we've had open music mics, and they're both cringeworthy. If you can't play an instrument or if you can't carry a tune, you probably shouldn't be singing or playing an instrument on stage. But it's also cringeworthy if you're want to be a comedian and your jokes suck or your jokes don't make sense.
That's true.
They're cringeworthy.
I have a question. If a woman gives you a friendship bracelet, does that mean she's friend zoning you?
She's friend zoning you. She's putting you in the friend zone.
If she gives you a friendship bracelet, is that her way of saying like we're friends?
Yeah, that's pretty much. You're pretty much doomed. Yeah.
Yeah, I like.
No need for Viagra then.
Fuck that. I'll like cut I don't want that bracelet. I'll just throw that one away. I'm just thinking about that, because there's a lot of like Taylor Swift is big on the friendship bracelets and stuff.
What you doing?
I took one of my mom's bracelets. My mom has friends that make jewelry, so once in a while I steal some of her jewelry. And so because of these
High heels, a mini skirt. You dressing up? What's going on, Chris?
nah, my mom's friends, they make a bunch of jewelry for fun, you know.
Gotcha.
So
So you get jewelry once in a while?
I'd steal my mom's jewelry. I'm not wearing any of it, but like this ring, this is a bottle opener ring that
Those are the old school. Yeah, open a bottle.
I got this in Vegas last time I was down there. But some woman judged me. She looked at my ring and she's like, "Is that a bottle opener ring?" And I realized that was like that was her way of saying, "You're a fucking loser," you know.
All right, guys, we need you to give to the Junkyard Rat Show. We'll put a QR code up or something, man.
Oh yeah, it's my birthday. I'm turning 53. I got a
We need a new vape pen for the studio.
I got like a I got a gift certificate for the Golden Corral, but I have to bring somebody who's gonna pay.
Oh, buy one, get one. So if someone buys, you get the free birthday
I
meal.
get that, but the weird thing is, I went into their website and they don't have any prices. You know?
So last time I was at Golden Corral was like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and it was like $25.
Well, I'm not paying because I get.
Well, yeah, because it's gonna be your birthday, and you're gonna want somebody to buy their meal, so you get yours free.
Actually, we try to
Tell
go.
your mom, hey, let's go out to dinner.
That's what I'm doing, but we tried to go for Thanksgiving, but there was a long ass line.
Well, yeah, I'm
Wow.
surprised. Actually, I'm really surprised, but I'm not. I mean, that makes kind of sense to
Well,
go to
you-
Golden Corral for Thanksgiving because
Have-
they always have shit like that, like turkey or roast.
Have you been there? I went.
I've
there,
only been there twice.
I've been to Thanksgiving. There used to be another name, wasn't there? Didn't they have another name? The Golden. Wasn't there like another name? I think Golden Corral kind of.
There's other ones like that. There was the one in San Mateo that was called like Home Style Buffet, and there's all those kind of things like that.
Oh yeah, the home style was the name. Yeah, Golden Corral basically changed all the name to the home style. That's who it used to be. It used to be the home style.
The
Buffet.
Home Style Buffet or Hometown Buffet or whatever the fuck it was called.
But now they're only making me go to the one in Concord. Like I can't. I got friends in Oakland. I'm like, I try to talk somebody into, because I want to go with my mom, but going to that buffet with my mom isn't fun at all.
Here, bring your mic down because you're blocking your face on that side, though. There we go.
Yeah, going to the buffet with my mom isn't fun because she's gonna like stare at me like, I can't just eat what I want.
Right.
Or she's gonna keep like, yeah, like. It's like when I went to McDonald's and I got a Happy Meal, and the woman asked me, "You want some apple slices instead of the fries, don't you?"
Apple slices.
I'm like, "Who the fuck?"
Sure, if you're gonna pour caramel all over the
I
fuckers.
know what kind of adult's gonna agree to that shit. I don't want no apple slices.
Oh no! So it's funny when I go to places like I'm gonna size this up better on this one. When I go to um, when I go get food sometimes at fast food, I don't drink soda a lot. The only
Yeah.
time I drink soda is I'll drink a Mountain Dew to pick me up for the caffeine content.
Yeah.
But the only other time I'll ever have a soda is if it comes with a meal, like like a fast food meal or whatever. And I hate when they just suggest, oh, I go, yeah, can I get a Coke? With that, and they go, what kind of drink? I go, Coke, and they go, Diet Coke? And I'm like, why? Do I look fat? Should I be drinking a Diet Coke? Diet drinks, except for the new zeros, diet drinks have or either sucralose or aspartame or something that gives me a stomach ache or a headache. I don't want that shit. I'd rather have, if I'm going to have a soda,
Yeah.
I might as well have a caffeinated real sugar, like I like the Mexican sodas.
Yeah, the Mexican, but I never understood why is it that Mexican Coke is better. Like,
Because it has real sugar instead of
but how do you know that's even true though? I mean, you're talking about
who do
a
you
pro-
think got all that damn sugar when we got rid of it?
No, but I mean, how do we? This is Mexico. Do you even know that there's real
Why
sugar?
is it cocaine? Why isn't it cocaine, you mean?
No, I mean, why is it that why would the Coke have
From
real?
Mexico have real sugar. It's
Well,
not it's a money thing. It's actually cheaper to put sugar in it.
oh
At
yeah,
this point, maybe in America, it is cheaper to go high fructose corn syrup
yeah,
because we've been doing it for decades now. So it's probably pretty cheap. But even our crops here, everything in this country is so jacked up. So even corn,
yeah.
the production of corn has changed over the last couple of years. So no, it used to be cheaper to do it with sugar, and it's also healthier. I mean, we had a thing in the 70s where the government was giving us too much sugar, and that's why they all kind of switched over to high fructose corn syrup and stuff like that. But that's even worse for us after decades and decades. Look at, we have so many obese people in this country.
Yeah, autistic people because in Latin America, everybody I know drinks. They're not even fat, but they drink Coke and they drink Coke all day long because you can't even drink the fucking water. But you go into Chile, like you don't see many fat people.
Well, even
You're
like Asia, you don't see fat
yeah,
people. Certain countries, you don't
yeah,
see people that are obese, and so part of it is what is in our food.
hell yeah,
So, like high fructose corn syrup versus sugar,
yeah.
yeah, there's a difference there.
What?
Two, it's also our habits. Look at everything we do. We have to supersize everything. Where's my coffee? I have a 32-ounce coffee. It takes me
Yeah.
a day or two to get it down, but I should be drinking a little. If you're in Europe, it would be unsweetened and it'd be a little teacup, and I'd be
Yeah.
able to go like that, and it'd be done.
It's different. My brother lived in Rome, and he said that he would get to his job, and they would all go have a coffee somewhere
Right.
for like an hour or two.
It's
Like
funny.
it's a different world. But I was watching the press conference a couple days ago of what's his name, that CEO who retired, that old guy.
Oh, are you
Um,
talking about Warren Buffett?
yeah, and he owns
He's 94 years old.
he owns stock in Coke. That's why he had two Coke cans right in front of him during his press conference because he's part owner of a Coca Cola.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, so
So Warren Buffett, the owner of Berkshire Hathaway
Yeah.
or whatever,
yeah.
and so he's like the richest man in the country at least.
Because somebody told me that he bought a bunch of corn, like cornfields area,
Like subsidies or bought.
it's because he owns Coke. So like now he's got both businesses running.
He made some really good investments. Even so, the one thing which I was corrected the other day, but I heard that he had bought Dairy Queen, but it wasn't Dairy Queen. It was
There's a dairy.
not McDonald's, not In and Out, some other burger place, not
It's not
Burger King.
Wendy's. It's not.
Not one. No, it might have been Wendy's. Was it Wendy's? I think it might have been Wendy's. But anyway, he bought the place because why? Because he used to go there every day and buy like the $5 burger for lunch. He would get a $5 burger, a cup of whatever, and
Yeah.
a couple French fries or whatever. And that was his lunch for a long time. Even though he was like the richest man in the country, he bought like a $6 or $7 meal, and he thought the burgers were so good there that he bought it. He bought that whatever that was.
That makes sense. Why not buy into companies you like their product?
Right. Well, that's what. So, so that's why I like being a stand-up comedian.
Hmm.
Why? What product are we selling, Chris?
Comedy.
Well, but what else are we selling? Whose comedy are we selling?
We're selling alcohol. The comedy.
Well, we're selling us. We're selling our
the
brand of
comedy
humor.
business sells. It runs on alcohol. Like
And it runs on alcohol. Well, the profits run on
Yeah,
the doors stay open because of alcohol
Yeah,
and food and
these
people with
comedy
venues.
clubs, they're there. The ticket sales don't really matter. They're there to sell you alcohol.
Sure.
It's the
It is about
truth.
ticket sales. It is about, but it eventually comes down to booze.
Yeah, it's a booze. It's a booze company. But yeah, that guy had like two Coke cans in front of him. And I was like, I guess he does own Coke now. Like that guy. But I used to drink a lot of like Red Bull and that type of shit. But I went back to coffee. I think coffee's like better for you. But yeah, I am drinking the fucking. I used to drink a lot of Mountain Dew, but when I went to Chile, I couldn't find it, and
Right.
I googled to figure out why, and it turns out Mountain Dew is banned in 100 countries.
Okay.
And I'm like, they're just force feeding us this shit. In fact, I love Mountain Dew. I can tell you which fast food restaurants have Mountain Dew. There's Taco Bell and KFC. I think that's it. I think no, they don't all have Mountain Dew. Nah, just Taco Bell. In fact, I used to go to a Taco Bell KFC in the Excelsior, which is like, if you keep going down Mission, eventually you're gonna run into the Excelsior. There's a Taco Bell, KFC, and they got three different types of Mountain Dews.
Okay.
But I used to live on Mountain Dew until I realized this shit is banned in 100 countries. What am I drinking? You know, and you could buy Red Bull in Chile. How the fuck can you buy Red Bull and not Mountain Dew? What the fuck is in Mountain Dew?
That's bad.
Yeah.
That bad.
And then somebody told me that the reason why in Mexico you got the sugar is because they banned all these chemicals for their fruit drinks. You know, you can't put all these crazy chemicals. And it's weird. All these countries, they got all this shit banned. But in America, like, they just force feed you all these fucking chemicals and stuff, you know? And it's the hardest thing.
Well,
about
and now
America,
it's gonna be worse in America because they've actually stopped. RFK actually has stopped people from checking the quality of food at restaurants and even at factories where they're processing meat and stuff like that and different food products. They've cut that in half.
Yeah, you know, remember in LA, the restaurants had like, they had grades.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do they still do that?
Yeah, they still do that.
They
That's the like the health and safety department. That's like the.
But you rarely see anybody with like a D. I've never seen.
No, you're
anybody
not
with a
supposed to
D.
see anybody with a D because, like, I think a D is like their doors are supposed to be closed. Like it's
I've seen
Ratatouille
some
serving your
Cs,
meal.
Yeah, I've seen some C's, but B's. I've seen mostly A's.
It's supposed to be A's and B's.
Yeah.
And so, like, even like a C, I think the C is the lowest grade you can have and still be open. You don't think you can have a D.
I should have gone to school in LA.
If you have a D, your doors aren't open.
I know, but it's like it was really weird to see these grades and they never did that here and stuff. So Gavin Newsom decided we're not paying enough taxes for our weed. In July 1st, the taxes are going up again on the marijuana products.
Okay.
You know, which is gonna force people to go to the black market. But I'm thinking like Gavin Newsom has no clue because he's not a pothead. You know, if you're in the alcohol business, how many people do you know really make their own alcohol or even grow their own tobacco? But you know.
I was gonna, yeah, no, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say their own alcohol or tobacco products.
Huh?
What growing their own what products?
Well, no. Gavin Newsom's in the alcohol business.
Right. He has like what is it, a wine?
He has wineries. He has, I think he
has
owns
a hard alcohol too.
A couple of restaurants, bars, and stuff.
Yeah, that's why he got in trouble the one time, right? Because he was here,
but,
and it was during COVID.
But like, I mean, you're never gonna. The only way, you know, and the thing about it is that I used to be all about dispensaries back in the medical marijuana days. I would get most of my weed in dispensaries. They kind of forced me into the black market, you know.
Right.
The prices forced me, and the only reason probably is like I'm addicted to the St. Ides at this point.
You're addicted to St.
And I don't know I don't know, but like the truth is, like, yeah, I mean, I know about sessions. They got these sessions in Oakland every night of the week. Sometimes they got 2 or 3 where you can just they're like farmers market. They're the same place every week. You go buy your weed from these vendors. The vendors don't pay taxes, you know? And it's like, I mean, shouldn't you like lower the prices? I mean, these places are expensive enough.
Yeah, what did they say they were going up? 25 or 26%?
Yeah, it's gonna go up.
And it's gonna directly affect the end user.
Yeah.
So our percentage is going up. The cannabis club and or the growers not getting any more. It's all either. So who's it affecting? Well, it's affecting everybody in that chain. It's affecting everybody from the grower to the distributor to the retailer to the end user
Yeah.
and even the government in there. But the only person that's really feeling the hit is the end user
The end user
and the
stuff.
government. The
Yeah.
government's making money off people that are smoking pot.
But they're
And the other people that should be getting a little bit of more of that money, it shouldn't be that 25% should not be going to the government because for one, they don't even condone it half the time,
nah.
but yet they'll take the money. And then, the retailer needs to make it because they're going month to month. And the growers,
Oh,
the
yeah.
growers are having to give away their product for a lot cheaper every fucking year.
Nah, how long do we got until? I know they got another recall going against Gavin, but how many? I think we only got like 2 years left of Gavin. Like, Gavin's done a lot, you know. He's done a lot.
He's done some good stuff, but he's also done some bullshit.
Yeah, and the thing about it,
Sorry, Gavin.
now he's like regulating the CBD, but it's like this is just crazy talk. These places they're not even making money as it is now. And it's like, why make it more difficult, you know?
Well, and I think he got pressure from the cannabis industry or Hollywood elite
Yeah.
and to open up where they can actually now have their VIP rooms that you can smoke in and eat and or drink.
Yeah.
But it took a lot of pressure, but I think also he saw the money in it.
And that's where I'm thinking these dispensary lounges should be going. They should become private clubs where you pay for
Like a membership.
You pay for a membership because now some of them, like I go to some of them, and like they really hassle you if they think you're smoking somebody.
Well,
else's
even weren't you
weed.
talking about the green door? So you were talking about the green doors back open again, and they had a VIP, but their VIP room was not in the exact same space as their club. It was next
No.
door or down the street, or it was like
no, it's upstairs.
upstairs. It was
upstairs.
separate.
Yeah.
It was separated, and so that made sense because if you purchase something, you could go right into that
Yeah.
section, but you had to show ID. You had to show whatever.
Yeah, you got to
and so
show ID. They kind of knew, but they
They already checked your ID because you just bought cannabis from their dispensary.
Yeah, they used to be packed, but when it first started, none of these places require you to buy anything to come in.
And you could smoke other people's stuff. Like we were just
Yeah.
talking about the other people across the street. You have to buy, you can only buy their shit to smoke in their
Yeah.
place. If you, let's say, buy flour, you buy some bud,
Mm.
but you brought some keef to put on top of it, they'll give
Yeah.
you a hard time. Oh, that you didn't buy that keef here.
Yeah,
But I just bought this flour and I'm rolling up a joint. And well, that's not ours. You shouldn't smoke it in our room.
yeah,
And it's like, oh, okay. And then that same club or certain clubs will also, like you said, you buy a concentrate and you can only use that for a couple days there, and then you have to buy more.
yeah. Like the rule is if you buy a gram or you buy some concentrate, you're only allowed to use that concentrate like 2 days there. And in fact, I bought some concentrate, and I showed up 2 days later, and they asked me if that concentrate came from them. And I told them, yeah, I bought it a couple days ago here. And the guy said, well, I checked your computer record. Or he
Right.
said, I checked your profile. And I'm like, that's a weird word to use, profile.
Because it has more information. It not only are they tracking who you are and what you're
Yeah.
buying, but they're also
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like, the thing about it is, I always buy my drink to come in. I buy something to come in.
Right. I mean, it should be that you get to use their VIP room
Yeah.
for a certain amount of time if you make a purchase of
Yeah.
$10 or higher or
And
something.
then I go to their event so I can win stuff. I go play bingo or the trivia. So some of the stuff, maybe I didn't buy it, but I could have won it there.
Right.
But it's like,
Well, I understand. So let's say you buy a gram of concentrate
Yeah.
and you've had it for a couple of days. If they always let you in with that same thing, that would just mean keep the same jar from the concentrate and keep filling it. You can say,
Yeah.
yeah, I bought this from you 6 months ago. I'm still dabbing on it.
But it was weird because I'm like, did it really say I didn't buy it? Or did you not even bother to check?
Oh, so
You
because you
know?
were being legit.
No, because I did buy it
So
there.
then you should have said, you know what? Can I talk to your manager? Because I
Well,
think
no,
so.
it was the
So
manager.
then I would have said, hey, that would concern me. Just to let you
Yeah,
know, if on my profile
yeah,
it doesn't show I bought this 2 days ago and I'm telling you I bought it,
yeah.
here, let me pull up my credit card or whatever
We
method of payment I used and I'll show you. Look.
now I gotta ask for receipts. Like from now on, I just ask for a receipt and I pull out the receipt. Boom, right? Because I use cash.
Oh, did you use
I
cash?
use cash.
But either way, so
Because you're not allowed to use credit cards. I don't know. Are you allowed? You can use debit cards, but the credit card companies, Visa isn't
yeah,
down.
no, they won't do credit, but they'll do debit because it
They'll
comes
do
right out of your
debit.
bank
They'll
account.
do debit.
And a lot of
Yeah,
those places won't even do debit if you need it's only cash and they have
yeah,
an ATM machine if you need it.
yeah.
And then the
So,
ATM machine will charge you like $5.
but it's like if I say I buy it, isn't that enough? Like, I mean,
It should be.
it's weird. It's weird. Like it's a customer service thing. Like, you
Well, yeah,
know,
it should be. And then if you don't look like a street person and they see you frequently enough and
yeah,
you're not taking advantage of it, like I said, I would be more concerned with him. I would have said, hey, by the way, I bought it with cash. And if you don't see it on my profile, I'm guessing your person pocketed the money.
well, no, I'm not. I think
No, I mean, seriously,
it's
if
true.
you don't show it,
It's true. That was my thing. Is like what happened because I bought it, but it was weird. It's like the fourth time I've been asked that there.
you should have asked them the last time that you showed that I was here. And they'll say, oh, that was like 2 weeks ago. And you'd be like, no, I've
Yeah.
been here 3 times or something.
So it's like after a while, you just feel like, why even go to that place? Like,
There's
and,
certain
and
places that are all like, so that place has kind of pissed me off multiple times. And it's because you're right, they're not customer friendly. They're kind of
no,
rude. I've tried to be neighborly to them and they acted weird like 3 or 4 times to me.
yeah,
One time they welcomed me with open arms, then the next 2 or 3 times they were acting all shady.
yeah,
And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. If you're a business, I don't care what you are, even if you're a cannabis club, even if
yeah,
you're a brothel, even if I don't care what your business is. If you're a legal business, you should respect your fucking customers and
yeah,
treat them well. And if you can't accommodate something, like if he said, well, I don't see that you bought this here, sorry, blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
I would just be apologizing. I'm sorry, I can't, or whatever. Or,
Uh,
I wouldn't be rude about it.
no, I mean I bought it there.
Right.
I bought it there. I follow the rules. But it's like, I mean, I'm not the only one. They hassled my friends, and it's like, it just seems like the kind of place maybe. I mean, I don't get hassled at McDonald's.
Well, that's what I mean. And in certain dispensaries, they treat you like a god too.
Yeah, I mean,
They treat you like, oh my God, you're back. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
yeah, I'm Barry Coast. They're happy to see you. Nobody's watching you.
And nobody's treating you like shit.
No, they're like that. It's everything's chill. But
No, and that's how it should be.
yeah, and it's
But
like,
no, that's why I'll tell a business. So I had to buy some. I bought somebody cigarettes the other day, and we walked into a local liquor store, and we said, "Oh," because they had all the cigarettes behind them with
mm-hmm.
all the prices with big old tags that said, this is $6.50 a pack plus tax or whatever. And so I said, "Okay, we'll take that pack right there and the 100s." And it said, I think it said it was $6.49.
Yeah.
And the guy charged us like $7.62. And I go, whoa, hold on. I go, it's $6.49. He goes, yeah, that's the old price.
Yeah.
And I go, well, sorry, you're supposed to charge us that because it's labeled that way.
Yeah.
I go, that's kind of bait and switch. I go, it's mismarked. And he goes, well, that's the old price. And I go, well, then take down your old price.
Yeah.
And I go, and he goes, yeah, it's still $7.62. And I said, okay, I'm going to purchase this because I don't want to go to another store. But I go, you just lost my business forever.
And-
And I live local to that store.
Yeah.
And I would have bought more shit from that store because
And
it was a liquor store.
The other thing that worries me is that word profile. It was the second time somebody used that word on me. And that's not the kind of word
It makes you feel paranoid?
No, it's like because then you start thinking, you hear profile and you hear racial profile, and then you start wondering,
Or social profile,
yeah,
or like
I mean,
usually profiling
yeah,
is a bad thing.
because I know people who,
Means somebody's keeping track of what the fuck,
yeah,
who you are, what you're doing, and everything else. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought I lived in America.
yeah,
And unless I'm hurting myself or other, you should step off my fucking dick.
because I know people who just kick it there, bring their own shit. You know, they work for some marijuana companies. They bring their own concentrate. Like they don't hassle them. You know,
Really?
like it's yeah. I mean, there's people there who are friends. They're friends with like, you know,
The bud tender or the guy that's watching the VIP
yeah,
room or
so
whatever.
I know.
So I
somebody-
bet you they're
Yeah.
assholes to certain people. Sure, I can see
so
that.
it's like, you know,
They've been really stickler to me, and I've spent some money there. Even like I
yeah.
forget, I bought a battery, and it went bad within like a month and a half. And I went there, and they said, "Oh, you haven't bought a battery for over a year," which is funny. That's right.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll say that. I go, no, I bought this like literally less than a month ago. I go, it was only like $9.99. It was only a $10 battery, but
Yeah.
it was a month ago. And they said, yeah, you didn't buy a battery a month ago. The last time you bought one was like a year and a half ago. And I go, yeah, if you look, that battery that I bought a year and a half ago wasn't even the same one. And the one I'm trying to return had their name on it, had the dispensary's name on it. And the one I bought a year and a half ago did not have the dispensary's name on it. I go, so you sold me a pen, a battery for my vape that you don't even have on my profile.
The profile.
On
yeah,
the profile.
on the-
That's funny that you say that because
the
they did the same
profile.
shit to me.
Yeah.
I said, no, the battery I got that time was whatever. This one's a one with your guys' name on it.
Yeah. Maybe they are pocketing.
I think people, if you pay cash,
Yeah.
which I don't remember how I paid that one, but sometimes I pay cash and it was a $10 battery. I probably paid cash.
Yeah.
So I bet you they have somebody stealing money.
Yeah. I mean,
By the way, people across the street from 7th and Market, you might have people. That's why they've gone through a lot of management too.
yeah, the employees there, they always got new employees. You know.
Nah, there's a high turnover
There's
because
a
people
high-
are stealing.
Maybe.
But that's crazy because they have cameras at like every station.
Yeah. Why would you? I don't think they're stealing, but
How are they doing
Yeah.
it? Whoever's stealing's doing it smart.
it's like weird. Yeah. It's
But
weird.
maybe they're getting caught and then they're getting fired and then they're having to
Yeah.
hire new people.
Yeah. And like but the whole profile thing, like it creeps me out, you know. It brings me back to a different time and place. What makes me wonder what's really happening in this place.
Like what are they really doing? So I
Yeah.
wonder what's in your profile. You figure it's everything that's on your ID.
Yeah.
It's your picture that they take of you.
Yeah.
It's all your purchases.
Well, you know, I've been going there since the second day the
And
place
then they
opened.
know if you go in the VIP room, right?
Yeah.
And
But-
so
Well, not VIP. There's a
the smoking lounge or whatever you
Yeah,
want to
the
call it,
lounge
the
area.
lounge. So they know when you've been in the lounge. So your profile at least shows that you who you are, that you purchase cannabis
Yeah.
products, and that you smoke them on site.
yeah.
So I mean, if they were really, if you were really worried about what they were doing with their information, then you would be worried if
Yeah.
they were sharing it with law enforcement or something else. I mean, again, you shouldn't be smoking in a lounge and then getting behind the wheel of a car.
Well, I don't even drive. I don't know.
No, but I mean, certain people, they drive to the club, they get their shit, they smoke in the lounge, and then they get back in their car and drive. So there's I won't say there's certain people that should not consume and drive, but you're not supposed to. It's illegal, and
really
most
like the
clubs don't
place,
want you to
but-
do that.
Yeah, I've been going there since the second day it opened, you know. I remember like a couple years after it opened, they wouldn't let you sit in the couch areas in the back alone. They said you needed more than one person to sit there. And I remember I kept thinking like, you know, soon you're going to wish that I was sitting there. And then COVID hit, right? So, but yeah, it's always I mean, I always like Mo Greens, but yeah, it's like, but the whole thing, it weirds me out that somebody's just watching me dab, you know, like it weirds me out that I'm just sitting
Literally
there.
have you on security camera and they're watching
Yeah.
every little move you're making.
Yeah, they got like a basement area. I don't know. Maybe they got TV screens all over the place. I don't know. I've
They
never
probably
seen.
have security and they have multiple
Yeah,
cameras. I've seen cameras at every one of their. That's why I
yeah.
was saying that
But I'm
if somebody's
thinking,
stealing from them, that they're
yeah.
probably getting caught.
I don't think anybody's stealing, but like, yeah, I bought it there. It's the second time I told
They've gone through
somebody.
so many managers. So, like I said,
Yeah,
I've been here in this spot for 3.5 years. I know they've gone through like 4 or 5 managers
because I don't think
in
they,
that time, which
I
is
don't think
sad.
they pay well. These places they don't make that much.
Sure, and
Money.
you're in San
Yeah,
Francisco where people are traveling and working just a little bit,
yeah.
moving on. So maybe you're gonna run into people that are a little bit more
There's
dishonest.
a million people trying to work in dispensaries. Everybody wants in the weed game, you know.
Well, yeah. So it's one
And
of those things that's kind of like being a bartender or waiter. There's easy
yeah,
money.
I heard it's hard to become a bartender in San Francisco. That you gotta know
Yeah,
somebody.
no,
Like,
that's a hard thing because
yeah,
there's less and less bars, and there's more and more
yeah.
people that have had seniority for a longer time.
Oh yeah, but it's like, yeah, I'm like, I don't know, like, but it's like I'm not the only one. I talk to friends of mine. It's like we pay money to come in this place. Like, I mean, I would understand if marijuana had like some molds that could travel. Like, if you told me or you said, certain marijuana strains got molds, and the mold could travel from your shitty weed and get on somebody else's shitty. If you told me that, I'd be like, I get
If
that,
there was
but
a logistical
yeah,
problem or yeah,
yeah, I'm like, yeah, but like I said, I've been going to these places since
a
the
logical
medical
problem.
marijuana days,
Ugh.
and like, yeah, they would show up with some rig and have some alcohol wipe, and we would all use the same rig, like 30 of us, just that's how I was back in the day. But when I started smoking weed and stuff, you know, when I started smoking weed, the weed was shitty. I used to call a friend of mine, "You got any weed?" He's like, "I got some weed." And now it's different. We got better strains, but like, yeah, after a while you go, you know, in fact, they have customer numbers. My customer number is in it's in like, my customer number is in the 200s. So I'm one of the first people who ever walked into that place. It's like, yeah, I mean, you know, why not? If we say it's our stuff, why not just take our word for it?
Now it's working.
I mean, but it's like, it seems crazy. I don't get asked out anywhere else. I've been to all the Urbanas. I go to Barbary Coast. I mean, Urbana's never. I've never been asked out anywhere else. You know.
Right.
In fact, back in the days when I used to go to Spark
Hmm.
to the volcano, I would buy a joint from Relief for like $5, and I would go to Spark and I'd use the volcano for the joint. So I wouldn't even like, I would buy it there because it was cheap. You
But you
know?
would go there for their volcano and their atmosphere.
Yeah, I really like that place.
I did too.
I
That
have
was an
so
awesome
many
place.
friends from that place. So many people I met. A lot of
That was
employees.
a neat. That was a neat situation.
Yeah. I mean, Spark is still around, but they closed up that big ass place.
The one on Mission.
Yeah,
at
they g- they
9th
got
or
they got a
8th.
store on Haight Street. I think they got one in the Mission somewhere.
Yeah, I hear they still do.
But it's like, yeah, but yeah, it was crazy. But I remember that law got passed the same night that what's his name got elected president the first time.
Oh, what's his name?
It was the same night, and I remember January 1st. I can tell you how it felt. Like, as soon as that law passed,
Right.
you could feel it was different. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, these places, they got different. Like, we were all friends. Nobody asked me where my weed came from. After that, even the green door required you to buy something, but it was chill, But it's like, yeah, now Union Station, you got to spend 25 to use a lounge area. At Mission Cannabis, you got to spend 25. And maybe that's the way. Maybe more Greens should do that. Maybe if they should do that.
And then that way you can smoke whatever for whatever time.
Yeah, I mean, if they know you spend 25 to come in here.
They should let you smoke whatever you want to smoke when you're in there.
They're not hassling you at that point, but it's like,
Yeah, I don't think Mission Cannabis would have a problem if you bought whatever there, but then smoked whatever up there.
Yeah, I don't even think they check for that kind of stuff. I mean,
no, and that room's way up there, and yeah, there's a camera, but I don't think anybody's sitting there babysitting the fucking camera.
I mean, I don't know anywhere else where like like they're like asking you or they're doing shit like that. They all have that rule, but
right.
I don't know anywhere else where that they actually do that. It's like, to me, it's like, and I would go there like 3-4 times a week.
Right.
And it's like, because they got a dab bar. I like to dab once in a while. It's to the point where I thought I might as well just go buy my own rig. Like, if I want to dab. It's like, I like the place, but it's like, I mean, if I say I buy it there, then I bought it there, right?
Right.
I mean, why am I going to lie about it, The trouble is that all I buy are the St. Ides. So that's why I get questioned a lot, because they see me with constant, they're like, well, you just buy St. Ides. Like, I know you. And, but if I told the guy, I was like, yeah, I know I bought it here, right?
Right.
And like, he's like, well, it's not in your profile. I'm like, what do you mean? And I thought, well, why don't you bring me a print out? If you're going to tell me it's not in my profile, shouldn't you like come out with like a printout? Let me actually see this profile. Like, what do you mean it's not in my profile? Let me see proof of that,
Yeah, and like I said, I would be more concerned that they have some internal thing going on. So
yeah, I mean, it's like any other place. They got cameras everywhere. They could be selling info and stuff.
Right. Well, like you said, profile usually tells you like they're gathering information.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these places, they have their own Wi-Fi. So people don't realize if you use somebody's Wi-Fi, sometimes you're agreeing to be watched through your Wi-Fi,
Right.
So it's like, you never know, like when you agree to go into some Wi-Fi, if you're actually saying, hey, you can watch.
You can absolutely guarantee that you're being watched, because it will even say when you agree to accepting to being on somebody's Wi-Fi, it gives you a big old long disclaimer, and somewhere in there it says you better not be doing anything illegal, unlawful, and we'll be watching you watching where you're going, because we don't want you downloading porn or torrent files, or we won't go there with Chris.
One of my mom's friends, she used to be a management. I forgot what company. And she told me that she had to go tell one of her employees to stop looking at porn at work. She's like, funny. Yeah, I had to go tell. I guess sometimes people don't even realize it. I mean, you're at work. I don't have a job, so
it's like.
But I probably
that's just lame.
It is lame and shit.
Well, so it's even like when you see these people that have killed other people.
Yeah.
They go onto their computer or their phone and they look, how do you get away with murder? How do you dispose of a dead body? Yeah. How do you get away with it? And I'm like, really?
Oh, yeah.
Because they always say, oh, by the way, we seized all their devices, all their computers, and we have forensics going through it. And by the way, we found all this stuff. We found that they did search for materials, search for the best way to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I was just watching Dateline or something the other day, and it's like, yeah, they noticed that like the person was looking for like ways to get rid of a body.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, hello, Unless
Yeah.
you're actually writing a murder mystery or something, there you have no right to be looking that up. I mean,
Yeah.
even if you have a morbid sense of curiosity, especially if you're looking at how do I get away with murder? There used to be that TV show on Channel 7 where the lady was like a wasn't she a writing professor and she was teaching a class and then she actually did
Oh
kill
yeah.
somebody?
I think it's called How to Get Away with Murder.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that was like an ABC program.
Oh
And
yeah.
that was like a series that did really good for like 2 or 3 years.
Well, you remember the guy who ran the Silk Road? Remember the Silk Road?
That sounds familiar
The
too.
Silk
Which
Road.
one's that?
The guy who had like he had like some website where you could buy drugs on the black market.
Oh.
Yeah. And,
Oh.
and he did his whole business in a fucking library in San Francisco. He would go to, he ran a whole drug market. He ran this whole website where you can go to the what is it called? The dark web. You go to the dark
And
web.
get anything you wanted.
You can buy anything you want. But this guy he was running his whole company. his
And he
whole
was
bus-
using the computers through the
He would go into a library
library.
in San Francisco. Is it I forgot which library it
but he
is.
was using library computers because even ours right down the street. I love the San Francisco libraries.
No,
By
he
the
wa-
way, guys,
yeah.
if you are ever in San Francisco has a great library system. The one right down the street from
Oh,
us,
that big one?
you can go there and use their business center and use their computers
Yeah.
and make copies of things and send and receive mail and do all these crazy things. And then, of course, the
Yeah.
books. All the media, they have books, video, everything.
Yeah, so yeah, this guy, he was running his whole business. He would bring his laptop, and he would be using the free.
Oh, so
Wi-Fi.
he's using their Wi-Fi.
He was using and he was running the whole Silk Road, right?
Oh,
It
jeez.
was. He got arrested in the library.
Oh, I
He
bet.
got arrested in the fucking library.
Yeah, and they probably were able to track him once they knew
Yeah.
that he logged in.
I mean, because it's not like he was great at what he did, but I mean, how you even hide something like that? Like,
So if they know how you're doing it, so he probably got away with it for so long
Yeah.
because people didn't realize that he was using public Wi-Fi. And
yeah,
if they finally figured out he was using public Wi-Fi, it was probably because they couldn't nail his IP. An IP address is where your computer resides. And so if you have a laptop and you're connecting to public Wi-Fi, your IP address not only tells you your location, like I'm at the Starbucks at the corner of whatever and whatever,
Mhm.
but it also gives specific information, which is like an electronic serial number of your device. Like it will say, oh, it's an HP laptop running Windows 11, and it's at the corner of 9th and Irving or
Yeah.
whatever. So they'll go to 9th and Irving. They'll look for the person with the HP laptop that has when running Windows 11, and then they'll check their electronic serial number and go, yeah, this is him. So there's an IP address, but then there's an actual address to your device, even if you're hopping. So if they know, hey, this guy's using public Wi-Fi, oh, and he seems to frequent libraries, all they have to do is have somebody monitoring the library system or each and every one of those libraries,
Mhm.
and then have a cop close enough to whenever he logs in, yep, he's there now.
Well, actually, I saw the documentary a couple of years ago, but I think it had something to do with, like, I think he tried to hire somebody to get killed, or
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
that's-
I was gonna say.
that's
Because
why he
wasn't
got
it dark
arre-
web
yeah.
stuff? Isn't it where you can hire people or sex
Yeah.
trafficking or it's all these ugly things? So it was called. The name of his site was like the Silk Road thing. So I'm
The
even
Silk
afraid to do a Google search on it because if you do a Google search on Silk Road incident or
yeah,
what was it, scandal? You could call it the Silk Road scandal. I'm afraid that somebody's going to think that I'm trying to duplicate
Yeah.
it, but I kind of remember that. But I
think
didn't
Trump-
realize that the person was frequenting libraries and using his laptop. And
Oh yeah, I think they try to get Trump to pardon him. I think they're gonna try and do it again. They try to because he's serving life. He's serving life.
so, what
And,
was he actually caught doing? What was he doing that he
Well,
was?
they
He saw?
kind of faked the murder. They claim like because he didn't use his real name. I forgot. I think he used like the guy from I forgot the name. Something Roberts. That character from that one movie with Andre the Giant. Remember that movie with Andre the Giant? The '80s movie where
You talking about the fantasy one,
yeah. Well, I think the guy he used that guy's
Robin
name.
Hood Men in Tights.
No, it's called. I forgot the name.
Or is it
Yeah.
it's not Princess Bride.
The Princess Bride? Yeah, it's the character's name from the Princess Bride. So he used his name, but I don't know. It's weird, but yeah. Basically, he was.
I am in Vigo Montoya.
Yeah.
Is that
So-
what he used?
No, it was like
I am. You have
something-
killed my father. I am going to kill you.
something.
Yeah.
Something Robert. Oh no.
Okay. So anyway, so he used some character name, and that's how they caught on to him.
Oh yeah.
So he used some fake name, but it was a
I don't know,
character
you
name.
gotta check the documentary.
I knew it was fucking one of those movies, and I didn't think it was Princess Bride. Yeah, it was Princess Bride. It's either Princess Bride or. Look at that.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so while we're waiting, while we're looking, we're gonna give you guys the studio line to call in, and I hope it goes.
The studio hotline is open. 650-503-3435.
We're back. All right, so there's the studio line. If you want to call in, call in. 650-503-3435 for all you people that are slow. 650-503-3435.
Dread Pirate Roberts. Dread Pirate Roberts.
Dread Pirate.
Yeah. I don't know. You
Okay.
gotta check out the documentary on that.
So what's the name of the documentary? Look it up while you had them there. And tell me what service it's on, and we'll share it with them. And so I knew the Silk Road sounded familiar, but I just wasn't placing it.
Yeah, this.
And I ingest so much news that you would figure I would know.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't know about it because
I don't remember. I'll probably start watching it and go, oh yeah, I remember he did that.
it's on Freebie.
Oh, freebie.
It's called the Silk Road. Yeah, the Silk Road.
The Silk Road. Okay.
It's on Freebie and Prime. It's on.
Okay.
But
I've
yeah,
got both. I've got Freebie and I've got Prime. And it's
think-
called the Silk Road.
which
Okay. I'll
library
remember that.
Let me check. Let me try and see what library this guy was.
Let me see if I can do that. Let's see if we can play that. Hold on.
What library?
Hold on. The Silk Road documentary trailer. Okay, so hold on. Let's see if we can do this. I'll see if I can pull.
Why do you keep?
Hold on. So, okay, so we're gonna be on a hot mic, Chris. So you got to be quiet. But let's watch this trailer together. This is the trailer, I believe. Monitor capture. Here we go, guys.
Why do you keep closing your laptop every time I walk by?
You look stressed.
Work's been crazy. I've always wanted to change the world.
How?
Amazon for drugs.
But you can't buy drugs on the internet.
What if you could? Using Bitcoin. I just made 75 grand in the last 90 minutes, babe.
That's 1.2 million a day.
First millennial gangster. You gonna crack this the old-fashioned way, Agent Boner? Everything they know, they learned off a screen. Not staring down the barrel of a gun. Experience matters.
Oh.
When you snatch him up, send me a fax.
The
dark net.
Something special came in the mail.
Game is changing. It's gonna be every suburb in America.
This website needs to be shut down immediately.
I'm the one's gonna bring this brick down. You cross this line. There ain't no going back.
You're getting obsessive.
We get him on conspiracy to commit murder. Checkmate. Come on, hold your breath. You do it for my money. This thing's gonna outlive all of us.
Well, yeah, but then if you're gonna do that, you're not gonna like one of those was like whatever bridge that was a really famous bridge, but that's not in San Francisco.
No.
It looked kind of like a 3rd Street bridge, but that was not 3rd Street.
No, because I don't know. You're gonna watch a documentary.
So that was not the documentary. That was some movie. That's a
No, you
movie.
gotta watch the movie. I mean, yeah. No, was it a movie or was it a docu? I guess it was a movie. Yeah,
Are you sure? So here's another one. Hold on.
It began with a single commodity.
Wait, hold on. So this might be it. I'm gonna take the PBS out of it though, so I'm gonna wait till PBS is out.
It began with a single commodity. A material spun from the cocoon of a moth that became the clothing of emperors. This was the Silk Road. It ran all the way from China's ancient capital through Central Asia, through mythical cities such as Samarkand or Persepolis.
Jeez. Okay, I was hoping. Well, yeah, we'll have to find it. So was it a documentary or not?
I think there is a documentary.
You think there's a
But
documentary?
it's a movie. But yeah, this guy was sitting in the Glen Park Library, running this business. They were clearing like a, it was crazy. And the thing about it is, there's a lot of these things these days. There's a lot of them now. But he was like the first one. He's still in jail. No, actually, he's in prison. But yeah, the last time they tried to convince Trump to get him out, but I don't think Trump got him out. He's still in there. He's still in there. But I think it's a crazy story. But yeah, to think that this guy was just sitting at Glen Park, just running this business. But so basically, the Silk Road, they would have a bunch of people. There would be private sellers. If you were looking for something, they had private sellers.
Well, it looks like that first movie that we showed the trailer was definitely based on that thing.
But the thing what made Silk Road great, and I never used it, is that they guaranteed the money. So they guaranteed
So no matter what, so even if you got burned on a deal,
because it was through crypto, right? So they watched the money and they guaranteed that
you got your product. The deal went through.
So yeah, you could basically buy drugs in your house in the middle of nowhere if you want to.
So it is like that first. It was like that
Yeah.
movie. I want to watch that movie now. Silk Road with Nick Robinson.
Yeah, that's the movie, The Silk Road. You gotta check that out.
But you thought it was you thought that was a documentary?
There is a documentary too.
There is too, but but did you see that one?
I saw both of them.
And you're mixing them up in your mind?
Because I know because
I fucking stoner.
I remember the woman.
You're a fucking stoner is what
I remember the woman and I remember the whole fight between the Silk Road and is he gonna choose the Silk Road or his girlfriend? It was a weird dynamic, but
so it was a well-made movie. At points, it probably made it feel.
Nah, but the documentary is fascinating. The whole story is fascinating. Basically, this guy was sitting at the Glen Park Library doing all this shit,
Right.
Just running a drug business, he got arrested in the library, which is Glen Park is a I don't know, it's a nice area. It's not a great area and stuff, but And he's still in prison. We got to get him out, though,
Right.
because, Andre the Giant's dead. And, that movie, did you like The Princess Bride?
Yeah, I
or-
did. It's one of my favorite movies. That's why I can't believe I can remember. That's the one. That's the one where, Inigo Montoya, and I'm here to kill you.
I was surprised that I was watching some YouTube programs, some YouTube shit, and there are these people who they pull pranks on the police,
Right.
right? They go to public areas and they start drinking non-alcoholic beers, trying to get the police to try and arrest them, and they
Mhm.
got secret cameras, and I'm like, I never even thought about doing shit like that. That's just crazy. I'm one of those people. The less I talk, the happier I am. Like I ain't trying to I'm not trying to get the police on my ass at all and stuff.
So thank you to live listeners or live viewers on all 3 platforms. You can see us at Paul Brumbaugh 67 on Twitch, Edge Studios Online on YouTube, or Chris's page on Facebook. And we have viewers on each and every platform, so we appreciate that.
I didn't realize that Twitch was like a real channel and stuff because
What do you mean you didn't realize it was you mean a real platform or whatever?
because I only end up watching like porn stars play video games on Twitch. I've never, somehow I always get talked into shit like that. Come and watch me play video games.
Right.
You've been jerking off to me all week. Come and watch me play some video games.
Hey, dog. Dog's actually drinking.
So
water.
I didn't realize it was a real. It was a place where everybody could go play video games. I thought it was just like a naughty video game place. You know what I'm saying?
Jeff Wheeler is asking, am I missing anything? Yes. It's Cinco de Mayo, and you're not here in studio. I thought you were supposed to be here in studio.
I know. I mean,
And then we even threw out the phone number so you could harass us and call, but sorry, it's too fucking late.
fuck that.
So you missed everything. You didn't
Fuck
miss
that.
something. You missed everything.
Well, it's my birthday on Wednesday.
There's a plate of tacos right here where you would be sitting, Enoch.
There's
Right there. You missed it. There's a plate of tacos right there for you.
fuck yeah.
Thought you missed it all.
My stepmom is Mexican. She doesn't celebrate Cinco de Mayo at all and stuff. I think unless she's at work.
Because the American Cinco de Mayo isn't Cinco de Mayo, right?
Yeah.
Isn't the real Cinco de Mayo in like September or something?
September 16th is Independence. Cinco de Mayo is when the Mexico defeated the French.
What, the one in September or the one in May?
In May, they defeated the French.
Okay, so that wasn't really their Independence Day.
Kind of shocking that the French were in Mexico. You never see that.
They were a little
But
bit
the
off
food-
course. I think it was a 3-hour tour.
The food is very similar, like the burritos. The French have like burrito type food too, don't they?
Do they? No.
Oh no.
No, they have dainty food, and they have the only close to a tortilla they have is a crepe.
I mean, I'm more pro lumpia than egg roll.
That's
I'm pro
Filipino.
lumpia. I'm a lumpia guy.
I like lumpia.
I like lumpia. Egg rolls are just too big to put in my mouth. I like the little things.
Anyway, we're checking comments on all. So thank you guys for listening and watching. So
Hell
we
yeah,
do
man.
appreciate that.
I just want to say, I only want a chance that there's a golden bear on my ID. Like, I don't want to go somewhere and some guy's looking at me funny. Like,
Warren Buffett bought a position in
why
Dairy
you
Queen.
got a golden bear on your goddamn ID? What the hell's up with that? Like, look at me winking at me like, dude, we all got a golden bear in our fucking ID, okay?
Oh, he's commenting on past stuff, so we missed this.
Yeah.
Another time. Warren Buffett bought a position in Dairy Queen,
Dairy Queen.
and then the liquor store broke the law. Oh, the one that sold me the wrong
Where
price.
is
You got
there
to
a
fill it up.
Dairy Queen? There's a Dairy Queen in Berkeley, isn't there? There's not many Dairy Queens and stuff, you know.
Yeah, he says I can even turn him into the consumer affairs department in our county, and it's like I just told him he lost a customer, and that was even better. That's an instantaneous thing. But
Oh, yeah.
sorry we weren't watching in real time, because those are actually good replies. Somebody's listening to the conversation.
Oh hell yeah!
Even if it's Enoch, even if it's Jeff Wheeler, we will take your viewership. It's better than none whatsoever.
You know, Jeff Wheeler, Jeff Wheeler's got to do right and give me that Trans Am. Let me fix it.
He's
up.
listening right now too. You give up
Yeah.
the Trans Am, let us take it for a joyride.
You gotta let somebody like fix up that Trans
Oh,
Am.
he's trying to
you
call
know?
in, but he's calling in on the wrong line, Jeff Wheeler.
Are you calling in
Jeff
the
Wheeler,
wrong
you're
line?
supposed to call 650-503-3435. Let me put up that number again for you. Studio line. Where's studio line?
Studio line.
Where is the studio line?
Where's the producer at?
Wow, no shit. Who's running this show?
Who's the producer at?
Where is this? Oh, there's the studio line.
There's
The studio hotline is open. 650-503-3435.
bear on my, because I ain't go to Berkeley and stuff. I don't need a golden bear on my fucking ID.
Right.
But what? Every state has their own little symbol because the real ID is like a national ID, isn't it? Every state is doing this shit, right?
Right.
So does every state have a little cute little symbol that they use? Like, what did they got in Texas? Did they got like Elon Musk and a picture of Elon Musk or one of the Bush triplets? Yeah, it's weird that they chose. No, the golden bear is like it's on our flag. That's why maybe.
Right.
Isn't our flag? Our flag has a bear, doesn't it?
Yes,
Our
flag has a bear.
A bear.
Now he's answering. Or now he's calling through.
But I just like.
Call from.
Yeah, it's Jeff.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Bear on my ID.
All right, Jeff Wheeler. You're on the Junkyard Rat show.
Yeah, I'll turn my soundage down here.
Turn down your sound.
That better?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no more feedback.
Do you have a golden bear on your ID, or do you have the golden bear?
That disappoints me that I'm not there hearing that you had tacos there. But you know what? I celebrate No Tacos Los Lunes.
Los Lunes. You'll have to tell us Los Lunes.
No Tacos Los Lunes. I don't eat tacos on Monday.
Only on Tuesdays.
Yes, it makes it better when it's Taco Tuesdays.
Because
I have a running argument with my friend Daniel Burns on my religious adherence to No Tacos Los Lunes, and he thinks it's ridiculous. But I think it's great to have tacos only 6 days a week.
Yeah, only 6 days.
No, if I had to choose one day not to eat tacos, it would be on Tuesday. That way I would stand out,
Yeah. I know. I've been eating tacos all week. I make like one big thing of fixings up, and so it's like, what should we do for dinner tonight? And I open up the refrigerator, and all these taco fixings fall out, and I go, well, I guess that decides for me what I'm having. So I scrape up all the cheese and lettuce and everything off the floor and make tacos.
Well, yeah, you live in a Taco Bell, don't you?
Well, I adhere to the 5-second rule. You got to hurry up and get it all off the floor in 5 seconds. And I'm usually pretty swift at that stuff.
You live in a Taco Bell, don't you?
No. I'm just saying there is a Taco Bell that I like to go to over in Pacifica. You probably heard of that one, the world's greatest Taco Bell.
You never invited us over to your crib.
It's actually a Taco Bell cantina. You can get booze there. They have tequila and bourbon and other stuff that they'll, mix. I guess you can have it straight shots or they'll mix it in with. I like doing their Baja Blast, which is like the blue-colored Mountain Dew frosty thingy.
It's the Mountain Dew that tastes like mouthwash.
Well,
yeah, it looks like mouthwash. It probably is mouthwash because mouthwash is like 70% alcohol and 20% food coloring anyway, or something like that.
I celebrate No Booze Los Lunes. But
right.
Yeah. Do you have a golden bear on your ID? Do you got the real ID?
Do I have I have an old driver's
you gotta look at your
license
California driver's license.
I'm actually supposed to go renew my driver's license, and it's like for the last 25 years, they just send me the same license. So my picture is like from like 1993 or something.
Right. So do yourself a favor, and when you get it this year, look in the upper right-hand corner. So if you start at the top, it says from left to right, it says California driver's license, and then it usually, if you go over to the right, there's the miner panning for gold.
The real ID thing is what you're talking about.
No. I'm talking about, so there's a thing that's called the enhanced ID. So I guess some of us that have had driver's licenses, like you and I for years, that they just use our old picture, and every once in a while we may have to go in and do a written test or resubmit or whatever.
That's what I do this year. I wanted to go up there and get the booklet. And I went online to California DMV, and I figured I could probably just order a booklet. There's no link on there. They give you a PDF file to the DMV test.
Yeah.
I don't want to read that. I want a booklet I can thumb through.
So you can go there and they still have books, but let me finish
PDF
this.
files, scrolling and looking.
Hey,
it's actually faster to do it on a booklet.
Shut the fuck
I mean, I could probably pass the test blindfolded anyway.
Shut the fuck up.
Jesus.
The producer's talking.
So I was trying to make a point with you. So when you get your ID this time, look across the top, because if you're like you and I that have been here and you're a citizen of the United States, and they have a regular California driver's license or ID, they have an enhanced ID, and then they have the smart ID. They're saying that you can still travel within the United States from state to state. No problem. You can even go to Puerto Rico because it's a state in our union.
Oh, yeah.
You can even go to Alaska because it's a state in our union if you have the enhanced ID. But if you have the regular ID, you can't. So you either have to have the enhanced one or the smart one. But if you have the one like I have,
that's regardless if you have a passport or not, right?
But if you have the one like I do, which I'm holding up kind of for the camera now, there's California here, then driver's license, and then there's a thing right here where if you see where the miner is panning for gold, if there's a gold bear above it with a star on his butt, then that's the enhanced ID, and you're able to travel from state to state. But if yours says federal limits apply, they may give you a hard time.
Well, I don't want to travel with any
I hardly ever go out of the Bay Area, though. I mean, I don't even go to the East Bay.
I want to travel. I want like a bear on my ID. I want to travel some other state.
But you should be able to.
People are looking at me funny when they see a bear. They see a goddamn bear. They're like, this guy's got a gay ID. Like,
well, that's that state animal, the bear.
Gay ID in California. I'm like, we all got bears. We all got little bears with little stars on their ass.
Here's my point.
But
my
they got
point
a star
is,
on their ass. Why the fuck put the star on their ass? I don't get that shit.
Do you know what our state bird is?
Is it a turkey?
No, it's a quail.
It's like damn quail.
So, but here's my point. So
my point, everything is like a state rock. Our state rock is serpentine. That's the rock that basically has asbestos in it. That's a good rock for our state.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so but here's my point with this. But
the place they're doing all those houses out by where Candlestick Park was.
You shut the fuck up, bro.
Jesus.
What the fuck is your problem, man?
So my big point of this whole thing is that you should be able to drive to the airport and get on a plane if you want to and go to another state.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Well, I haven't even flown in like I know they had 747s when the last time I flown. I think the last thing I flew on was like a 737 and maybe a 727. I almost took, they had the thing where United had their last flight on a 747 to go to Hawaii. And I almost bought a ticket on that just to get on a 747. And I was going to go to Hawaii, have lunch, and then get back on the plane and fly back. And it would have cost I think it wasn't bad. It was like $280.
Well, you know,
But-
yeah, yesterday a bunch of people paid to be on BART. They had a special BART line for the May the
That wasn't
4th.
the no pants day on Bart, was it?
No, it was people dressed up as Star Wars. It was a special BART
Oh
ride,
yeah, that day.
and people dressed
Yeah.
up as Star Wars, you know. I mean,
May the 4th be with you.
God damn it. I gotta say, you know what? I gotta say, you're not allowed. You can't just dress up like Princess Leia. You gotta respect the princess. You know, just because you're a female doesn't mean you can be Princess Leia. You gotta respect the princess. That's all I'm saying.
The president could be Jabba the Hutt. He wouldn't even have to add any extra padding on.
Hell yeah. I forgot. It took you a while to mention.
I
Trump.
shouldn't say that. He's
I think
probably
he went like
sending
10
Homeland
minutes without-
Security after
That's
me
pretty good.
already.
That's a record. He went 9 minutes 18 seconds without talking about Trump. If you had only gone,
I'm gonna
45 more seconds, I would've
secede
won
my
$1.
property from the United States.
Why people think
I'm going
we're
to declare
autistic.
my homeland its own little duchy. It's going to be the Duchy of Enoch.
Hey,
Is that your Trump getting canceled?
Trump.
Trump
Oh, no.
did those kind of things and didn't get canceled.
Hey,
You'll
we-
get canceled. You're
hey,
not Trump
You used to buy stuff on the Silk Road, didn't you?
on the Silk Road.
Well,
Remember the Silk Road? You remember the Silk Road?
You ever heard of that?
I've heard of it. I don't know quite what it is. I don't have the same contacts I used to have that could tell me an update on who's who.
Well, you haven't bought...
All of my guys in my pay grade and above, we've been canceled out. Trump, he only wants loyalists around him. He doesn't want my kind around.
Well, you got to buy some new contacts so you can read a book again.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know, in my town we have a one of those pot dispensary things. What do you call them?
Weed, yeah. You're not a weed.
Weed
It's
dispensary.
in the
correct, sir.
building that used to be my favorite auto parts store. I went by there and I saw a sign that said Embark, and I'm
Oh, yeah.
wondering what the fuck is Embark.
Oh yeah,
And I looked it up there, and I go, oh, that's one of those pot.
yeah.
What are they? Apothecaries or whatever? Is that the
Sure,
word?
you could, we call it dispensaries.
You know, for somebody who
Okay.
looks like
I
they've
like
been smoking
apothecary.
weed-
It's got kind of an old British connotation. You know, they don't call their pharmacies pharmacies. They call them chemists.
Well, you know,
over there.
Embark is a chain. I've been to a couple of Embarks. I had a friend
Embark,
who-
is that kind of like short for Embarcadero?
No,
Kind of a Spanish
chain.
thing.
No, embark is like you're discovering something new.
Yeah, they got one in
I don't see anybody down there at the Embark store. You know, like down the street from it, there's a gun shop, and there's like always a line outside the store for people buying guns. You know, I guess you have to go in there first and put in an
With the
application.
wrong fucking priorities.
Well, you know
Hold
why?
on.
Yeah.
There's a society
Well,
with
you
the
can't shoot people. What are you going to do with
wrong priorities.
pot? You're being attacked by Homeland Security and Trump's new Gestapo. What are you going to do?
Well,
Hand them a
that's
J
true.
and say,
That's
here,
true.
fire this
Things have
up.
flipped.
You know?
Things have flipped. I think, quite honestly, what we need to do is all smoke one. But you're right. You shouldn't be asleep at the wheel with this fucking Gestapo fucking what is it? The administration that's got it.
Well, no,
got it.
let
Well,
me
you know
try and
what? The
understand.
court-
Hey,
The
let me
courts
try and
have been on our
hey,
side so
yeah,
far.
I do, Chris.
Let me try and understand this. So you don't smoke weed, but you also don't get in planes and go places. Is there like a thing like? Is there?
I don't fly in airplanes
You
because
don't
they're not
fly,
safe.
You don't get in airplanes. You don't go on vacations. You don't smoke weed. You just sound like boring, dude. You sound like a
No,
boring
I'm
person.
saying I don't go in planes because they're not safe. Just like Patrick Swayze's character in Roadhouse. You know, that's why
Dude, planes
he
are
had his
safer than
Mercedes.
cars, dude. Planes
He
are
drove. I drive. Driving is more safe, even if
Hey,
you drive like
hey.
I do.
Hey, so have you flown since 9/11 or?
No, I said I haven't flown since 19 like 78. I mean, you know, I think it was like I flew on like one of the last PSA flights from here to LA, and then PSA changed to Southwest Airlines.
Isn't that the airline that what's his name jumped in Portland? Was it the PSA?
So PSA is the airline. They had a crash in San Diego that was real famous back in '78, and that was that was the airplanes that used to have the smiles on them, and that was a great airline. You could fly round trip from here to LA for like $19.
It was great.
You know, you can't even get a goddamn Uber down to the grocery store here for that.
78, that's when they started requiring ID to get on the airplanes. Is that why you haven't
And here
flown?
Uber was merging?
Is it you haven't flown because you don't have an ID? You're like a secret person. You're like in hiding.
You don't need an ID to get on Uber, do you? You know, Uber's merging.
With Lyft?
Uber's going to merge with Lyft. The new company is Luber.
You know
you're taking my jokes.
You know they almost
Well, that was
merged.
one of my old jokes. Why are you taking? Did you pick up on that one too?
They almost merged.
Yeah, I gotta go back. I gotta go back and listen to exactly what you said because I was replying to somebody on social media. But
merged.
yeah, no, that would be mine from about a decade ago.
The truth is that the owner of Lyft tried to give the Uber people Lyft, but the guy got so pissed off, hated the CEO, because I saw some miniseries on this shit, on some Uber. They did a miniseries on Uber. It turns out they almost had Lyft for free, but the CEO got so pissed off. Who knows if that's even...
They're getting their asses sued off because a lot of their drivers are like criminals and they're like attacking their women passengers and all kind of shit.
Hey,
we're getting those driverless cars down here on the peninsula now. That still freaks me out. You're on the freeway and you look over there and you see this Jaguar with all these cameras on it and there's no driver there. I mean, what if you're going down, you know, when you go to the store, you're going down like El Camino and you see another business, you know, go, shit, you know, I want to stop in there and get a 6-pack of beer. If you're in one of those driverless cars, what do you say? You know, hey, I want a beer, you know, and the thing just keeps, you know, it's been programmed to take you to like San Mateo. And there's like maybe a dozen things along the way you got hungry for a Chipotle, you know. You want a burrito. No dice, man. That car ain't going to stop you for a burrito or a beer. Or you like, there's a hot-looking chick. You're going to go to San Mateo nonstop, and you have no say in it.
No. Those
That's
cars
bullshit.
are programmed to stop for hot chicks, okay?
Yeah. Well, it's not programmed to stop for nothing. You know, it's like you signed up, you say, you know, you order the car, take you from here, it picks you up at your house,
and
they take you to where you're going. And then there was the guy who like he picks him up in the parking lot, and the car kept going around in a circle. It wouldn't get out of the parking lot. He calls up Waymo and he says, "Hey, I'm stuck in your car."
Oh my God! You know how excited I was. I was at the green door. Next thing I know, a cute little robot was trying to hand me some stickers. Oh, I was so excited. I was like, oh my God. I fucking wet my panties, God damn it. A fucking robot was just dumb out, didn't say anything to me, didn't have to say anything, but here's a robot. And I keep thinking, the fucking future is coming, motherfucker. You know what? You gotta get on a fucking airplane, dude. Because how the fuck are you sitting here? How the fuck are you sitting here complaining about the government?
A crash
you haven't
every
left
day.
the country since the 70s, brother. Have you
Trump fired all the mechanics.
Have you ever gone to another country?
I've never been to another country.
How the fuck have you not been to another country?
Oh, I got to the edge of Mexico once. Does that count?
Is there a reason? Maybe there's a reason you haven't traveled. Maybe I'm asking too many questions. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
But like,
I've never, I almost think about it now, the way this country's going.
Because I lucked out, my parents sent me back to Chile when I was in junior high twice. So,
they just had a big earthquake down there.
Yeah, they did. But
Saturday, it's like 7.5. It wasn't really on the continent. It was like out in the ocean. It was like between Chile and Argentina and
you know what, in Chile,
Antarctica. It was like a couple hundred miles, but it like shook up. It's like the southernmost town in the world or something like that. I guess they don't count settlements on Antarctica as towns, because it's all temporary.
If it's not an 8.0, the Chileans aren't even afraid of these earthquakes anymore. They've had so many earthquakes that all their buildings are earthquake ready. So if there is
Japan is the place to be for earthquakes. They do the best engineering on them.
Earthquake ready for anything, Japan and Chile, because they're always getting hit by 8.0s. And the thing about the third world, and the thing people don't realize that about America, that it's not like that in every country. Like where I come from in Chile, we got fucking Santiago. We got the capital. You know what? You want a job, you end up in the capital. You don't got a fucking choice where you live. You got to go live in the fucking capital. In America, you got choices. You got different cities, different areas. We take that shit for granted, You come from the third world, you're going to end up in the motherfucking capital because you got no choice. You want to make a living, you got to go to the fucking capital. You got to remember that shit, You got to remember stuff like that,
Well, I've had enough government work. Nowadays, you either write code or you serve drinks. That's like the two choices of making money. Or you do like I do. Just go down. If I want money, I just go down to the bank and get some. But that's another story. What are you drinking there? Is that another one of those infused soft drinks?
Yes, and infused cannabis and seltzer.
Yeah, my St. Ides peach is confused. The peach doesn't know if it wants to be a boob or an ass.
St. Ides, that used to be the malt liquor. That was like the
Are you calling my fucking drink confused?
40s, I think, came from St. Ides because they had like the first. There was a malt liquor war, and they went from like 32 ounces, and then they started making them bigger.
Right.
And I think it was Steel Reserve and St. Ides were the two like malt liquors of choice.
Steel Reserve is the worst.
And the bums went from Muscatel to drinking the 40. Man, the 40
Steel
was what you gotta have.
Seeing somebody drinking
drinking a 40?
It's like seeing somebody smoking crack. It's one of those things like they hit rock bottom when they're drinking Steel Reserve. It's like that's like the bottom. The bottom. The bottom. Like every time
I don't even want to walk by those people because they might be like pulling out a gum wrapper thing of fentanyl, and if that stuff gets in the air and you inhale like they say like a grain of sand of that stuff could be fatal. It's like it's so fucking potent. How do these people cut that down to safety? It's no wonder they're all dying.
There you go. Hey, check this out. We only got like about 4 more minutes left in broadcast, but want to thank you for calling in. Appreciate you, Jeff.
Yeah, I could have been there. This was one of I wasn't sure if Chris wanted me in or not because I usually see his little cartoon thing on Instagram or whatever.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell
and
you.
I didn't see Enoch the Great.
The reason there's no tacos here is you were supposed to bring the motherfucking tacos.
Well,
you were supposed to bring the fucking tacos.
Well, it was a communication breakdown, just like the Led Zeppelin song.
Cinco de Mayo is because you fucking didn't bring shit. You didn't show
I
up.
have a stink of tomatoes, stink of the Mayo here.
Post
full
every
of best
week.
food mayo.
You fucking, it's taco this, it's taco that. You fucking eat more tacos. than a fucking Taco Bell tester. How the fuck
I had
you
tacos
criticize
all
my
last week.
show for not having
I
tacos? It
made
was your
chili. I
motherfucking
made
job.
Hawaiian chicken. I've been taco-less for 3 days.
I'm glad that you could rant for at least
man.
the last minute and a half, 2 minutes of your last 3 minutes.
Well, yeah, because it's the holidays, so nobody's gonna sell you tacos for
This
EBT
is actually
cards anymore.
a celebration of when the frogs attacked one of the Mexican. It was kind of like
You fucking
we
show
had,
some respect.
remember the Alamo? This was Mexico's version of the Alamo, except the frogs attacked and they lost.
Well, yeah, have you ever realized that fucking tacos are really like French food?
September 16th is their
If you had
actual
fucking gone to
Independence Day,
fucking
isn't it?
Paris, you would have realized the similarity between Mexican and French food. You would have learned something from
I like
seeing
the
that.
Jeff, we got to let you go before the end of the show.
It's my birthday.
All
Why
right.
don't you? What the fuck?
Well,
fuck
I'll
you.
get in
Fuck
there
you
and
for not
visit
bringing
you guys one of these days.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I got a T-shirt
for
for
not
you.
smoking
It probably
weed.
won't fit Chris.
Fuck
He can
you.
put it on his arm as a sleeve.
Chris, bye before you run out of time.
It's my motherfucking
Oh.
birthday, bitches. Boom.
Adios, muchachos.
Trying to get you